Start.
Hi, Namaste everyone. Welcome to our pageant debate for Miss Asia World 2021. I am Anusha Bangara, first runner-up of Mrs. South Asia World 2020, and I am the host for today's wonderful event. And today's debate topic is how much freedom should a girl have? So actually the definition of freedom is different for each individual. That may be the reason My Dream TV USA have chosen this topic. I am so excited as you guys are to listen to our contestants' opinions. So without any further ado, let's get started. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Anusha.
You all are looking so great. Let me start with quick introduction round. May I have Manahil on the screen, please?
There. Hello, my name is Manahil Gill. I am 17 years old and I'm going to be a senior in high school. I love playing the violin, cooking, and exercising in my free time, and I'm so excited to be here.
Very nice knowing you, Manahil. Sobia?
Hello, my name is Sobia. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I am excited to be here. And I'm already getting the positivity and positive vibes. And today I'm all prepared for the debate.
Wow. Michelle?
Hi, thank you for the intro. My name is Michelle. I'm an HR manager by profession, and I'm excited to take part of this year's Miss Asia World 2021. And today's debate is going to be a very interesting and hot one, so I'm excited to take part of it.
Great. Nirali?
Hi, my name is Nirali. I'm from New Jersey. I'm so excited to be here today for this debate as freedom is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, we looking forward to hear all the contestants' opinions too. Anuradha?
Hello, everyone. My name is Anuradha Kamath, and I come from Colorado. This topic is of interest to me because I chose to become a homemaker after leaving a professional career as an architect and planner. And of course, that was a big decision for me to, because when you earn money, you have more financial stability. But what I feel is very privileged to have had that freedom to take that decision. And that's why this topic is very interesting to me. Thank you.
Shubhangi?
Namaste everyone, this is Shubhangi from San Diego, California. I am looking forward to this overall journey of our, My Dreams Entertainment. And yeah, I'm a homemaker and a beautician and a very passionate yoga teacher. So it's good to be here, already getting those positive vibes. Thanks for having me.
Wow. May I have Alif on the screen, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Alif. I'm a language analyst and I'm associated with American Red Cross at Disaster Management Department. Apart from my profession, my passion is to do performing arts, and I'm really excited to part of this Miss Asia World 2021 and my US My Dream TV. And today's topic is also very interested. So yeah, good luck to everyone.
May I have Heli?
Hello everyone, I'm Helly Vittel and I live in Tennessee with my parents and grandparents. And I think it's a great honor to be a part of this competition, and it's my very first pageant. So I'm just hoping to do great. And today's topic is a very big question, even in today's society. So I think it's going to be a very great discussion with all the beautiful ladies over here. So I can't wait for that.
All the best for your first pageant, Heli.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
May I have Madhu?
Hi everyone, this is Madhu from Maryland. I'm working as test engineer, and I'm very much happy to be part of this debate because women empowerment is something I'm very excited about, and this debate will share our empowering thoughts with each other, and I'm very glad to be part of this journey with my dream.
Thank you. Pranika?
Hi everyone, I'm Pranika. I'm 15 and I'm going to be a sophomore in high school. And I love to dance, swim, and debate, especially being a teenager in the 20s.
Great. Pallavi? May I have Pallavi on the screen, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Pallavi Sinha. I'm from India and I'm looking forward to this beauty pageant and this debate. The topic is very interesting and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Kirti?
I think she's not connected, so you can go for Trisha.
Trupti?
No, she's not connected yet.
Yeah, Kirti is not connected. Next contestant is
Trisha.
Yeah, Trisha.
Hi, my name is Trisha. I'm 16 years old. I currently reside in Houston, Texas. I like to play tennis and dance, and this cause is one very important to my heart since I dedicate a lot of time to this through various student-run organizations in and out of my school.
Thank you, Trisha. Very nice knowing you all. And all the best for your pageant journey. And today's topic is, as we all know, how much freedom a girl should have. Freedom, like nowadays, girls are everywhere and in every industry. And I would definitely like to know all about your opinions and all your thoughts. May I start with Manahil? Manahil, may you please share your thoughts on this topic?
Sorry. Hi. As a teenager in the 21st century, one of Pakistani descent especially, the idea of freedom is very near and dear to my heart. My parents and my grandparents are all from Pakistan, and I'd like to start with the story of my grandmother. She, in her village, was the only one to get an education beyond high school education and stick to it. And she loved reading and writing and sharing her poetry. But because she had my uncle at such a young age, at 20 years old, she was forced to leave her college career and her love for writing to raise a family. And now me, being 17 years old, going to an all-girls school in Dallas, Texas, I use every single opportunity I get to take advantage of the freedom that I do have. Like someone mentioned before, who said she had the opportunity to become a homemaker on her own decision, I feel like it's so crucial that we as women are not expected to do that, but rather choose to make the choice ourselves. Because we, just like men, are humans and have our own thoughts and dreams and capabilities, and our gender should not limit us to what we can achieve in our lifetime.
Very good, Manahil. Sobia?
Hello. So this topic is really near and dear to me as well. I belong to a family which is basically my grandparents were in a village. So later on we moved to the city. So basically the culture was that girls and women were supposed to stay in home and not work or just to help their husbands and to grow and to get established. But education was not encouraged for the girls. But my mom, she was the youngest of all the siblings, and she really stressed on the education. So not only that she got educated in her family, she was the only one who would get to the level of, she did the bachelor's, and the rest, they just went to the school to the primary level. And my mom, after she got married, she not only continued with different kind of education, but also made sure that her daughters become educated, and we to the level of when they become financially independent as well. So all my sisters, we are all doctors, and my brothers as well. You know, like one of my brother is doctor and one is an engineer. But she stressed, focused on the education of girls so that we become financially independent and not become dependent on the males. And she was a big advocate of freedom of females.
Thanks for sharing about your family and real-time experiences, because while hearing you, like I recollected everything, the transition from the older generation to now,
Yes.
the women. Now the women are everywhere, and before there are, as you said, there are restrictions. They have to do, certain kind of work. But definitely, it's a good change. Thanks for sharing, Sobia. How about Michelle?
Can you repeat the question again?
So, what is your definition of freedom, like to the girls, and why they need, and whether you are opposing or you are supportive to this freedom for the girls?
From my point of view, I would have to say freedom should be limited. I do not believe it should be given completely. In fact, I think if you look at the history of civilization for females across several nations, it was the ability for them to put limits on girls, for them to want to excel and wanted to exceed. If we had full freedom, I don't think we would be as successful as we are today in the 21st century. So I think there was probably a better reason for generations to come to have a certain standard for women and girls and the definition of freedom. If we if we had that freedom from the beginning, we would not be successful. So I think it's important that there is limit, there is boundaries, and also there is a gender differences between male and female, depending on the society that we're currently in. I think if you are in a house where you have 4 boys and 1 girl, it depends on the family if they want to give that particular girl more freedom over a guy. And then, religion plays into role, friends play into role, and also the upbringing of the girl also brings up. So my point of view would be actually don't give all the freedom at once. I know we want to take over the world, and we've given ourselves more responsibilities because of it. We have double shift. We want to be successful. We want to be homemakers. We want to do everything. We have the accessibility, but also are we biologically built to do all of it? Because right now during COVID, I can tell you just for America's population, we've had a lot of females who've actually stepped down from most of their positions because it has become such a burden. So again, going back to freedom, there should be a limitation of it. It changes and it continues to evolve as we go down to different generations.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Anyone wants to add points to Michelle? She's telling that freedom should be in limits. So anybody is, yeah, Anuradha?
Well, I actually agree partially with Michelle because basically, freedom, it's important to know when and where freedom can actually be beneficial and where in certain situations freedom can actually be harmful. And also how we define freedom. Freedom, if it is do as you please, well, there are a lot of things that you need to consider before you can kind of let that person have that freedom, because that person should know what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is not. They should know the consequences of whatever choices that they're going to make, and they should be responsible, because I think freedom and responsibility go hand in hand. You can't just take away one and say freedom, freedom, and not be responsible for your actions. And also the other thing, like what Michelle said, is that freedom should be given just step by step. If it's given free right from the time a girl is born, it's not going to be very beneficial. Because see, for girls, say age 10 to 12, I think girl or boy, anybody at that age, the focus should be more on how to help them be more responsible, have family guidance, rather than less of freedom. Then you go to teenagers, well, you give them a little more freedom, but they need to have some certain expectations that we expect as parents or guardians, and also boundaries. You can just let them do what they want, but you still give them some freedom. And then when you come to an adult, and hoping that they have gone through all these phases and they know how they can act responsibly, then you can give them full freedom to choose what they want to do, what they want to wear, what careers they want to opt. So freedom should come slowly, till you learn the responsibility of carrying that freedom. And so that is what I would like to say. And basically everybody's different. Like she said, we need to evolve. Everybody evolves, everybody's different. And so basically the mantra will be live and let live.
Yeah. Well said. And Madhu wants to add some points here. Madhu?
Thank you for all the wonderful opinions. And I believe that as women, we should always uplift each other. And also, as Michelle said, freedom should be contained, like basically based on our biological structure or like civilization where we came from. But again, this society is evolving, and in all progressive nations, there is safety for us to make our own life choices, and nobody will give us freedom. We should build our own freedom based on our financial independence or education. When we are grown up, we should have this choice of deciding what is right or what is wrong for our own personal life, and we should have that judgment, and nobody should impose this freedom on us. It is in our capacity, but again, as Anuradha mentioned, based on the age limit, we should be also vigilant, like what we are doing. If we are young, and we cannot be proclaiming that we have full freedom, it comes with responsibility and also safety to understand, like, okay, at this age there comes a situation where we should guard ourselves. We should not let the guard down, so that our principles and ethics will be retained.
Thank you, Madhu. And Nirali, what is your point of view about this topic? How much freedom should a girl have?
So in general, I think freedom is to have a choice, right? And it's also to be yourself. I think where it gets conflicted in how much freedom to have or not to have, I think the idea is to let people be themselves, express themselves. And as my fellow contender said, that, it's a responsibility. It sure is a responsibility with an action which has equal and opposite reaction each time, right? Depending on what it is that you're doing. That comes with anything: freedom of driving, freedom of education, how far you go with it, how do you use it? So I think, yes, you can give freedom, but like when it comes to kids or younger girls, let them come to you, let them express yourselves to you, because the more you restrict them, the more they run away from you. And honestly, I've seen that in my family. We're three girls, we're three sisters. I don't really have that bond with my dad or mom where I could go and confide in them. I really wish I did, because if that was the case, I think there were so many times that I think I would have been making better decisions if I had their backup. If I wasn't so afraid of going to them and saying that, hey, I made a mistake. I did something, but I made a mistake and I'm sorry, or like, help me correct it. You know what I mean? So I think I encourage your children to come to you with that freedom. Let them express themselves to you. So to me, that is what I define freedom as.
Very well defined, because everybody must have freedom to make choices. Very well defined, Nirali. Anuradha, what is your definition of freedom? You already mentioned that, about freedom and responsibility, but what actual definition of freedom in your point?
Okay, for me, if you're talking of freedom for girls, basically for anybody, is to be able to pursue your goals, and not let others say that, oh, you can do this or you can do that. And also, like the previous contestant said, the freedom to choose, what you want to do, and to grow, to be able to grow. And also, sometimes it looks like freedom is something that just lets you get everything. But freedom means of your thought, of your action, and of your deeds, and how you can, again, I will use the word responsibly, use that privilege that you have, not given, because nobody's there to give you freedom. It's what you create by yourself. But you need to regard that, keep that with regard with your responsibility. That to me is freedom. Following, being able to pursue your goals without anyone really having to say, you can't do that.
Thank you, Anuradha. Shubhangi, will you please explain your thoughts?
Sure. So yes, I do agree with Anuradha on her points. Like freedom is definitely subjective. It depends. So how much freedom to give? it depends. If it's a girl, definitely there has to be some amount of freedom, but there has to be some borders to it. Same, we can apply it to the boys as well. So, but here, as we are talking about the girls, I think, like since the childhood, we should be able to train them as a parent. Like, okay, so we should give them little freedom. Okay, why don't you try this thing, and let's see what happens. But you should be, whatever choices you will make, try to be ready to face those consequences of your actions. And those consequences, don't be nervous after that. You need to learn. That's how we should be able to train them to make proper choices in their lives. So as they will grow up into adult, they should be able to make right choices for themselves. That's how I think we should be able to train our girl child especially. And same with the boys. Like I think when we train our boys, we say sanskaras. When we put these habits into them to respect women, to respect the society, we growing forward, they'll become the fathers, and they'll take care of their family. As a society, I think fathers have a bigger role. They make the society, because they are more, they are the person who goes out more, and I think they faces so many, uh, ups and downs. I think it that way, because I have seen my father facing more consequences. Of course, my mother did too, but yeah, those were the different kinds of. So I think it's totally subjective. And yes, freedoms comes with the responsibilities. It is directly proportional. I'll just give a small example and end my thoughts. Like we have freedom to drive. Once you have a license, you can drive on a freeway, but you cannot drive in any lane, zigzag, and you bump into somebody else, right? We need to take care of our own selves, people with whom we are driving, and fellow drivers on that freeway as well. So that's how I think we should be responsible enough to enjoy our freedom. That's it.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Wangi. And I agree to you, like one must learn from their mistakes. Very well said. And Alif?
Yeah, till now, every point is very important and very valuable. But for me, freedom is to express myself openly, not being judged, and do not have any bad repercussions from anything. But also, yeah, we also have some limitations, but we should not have any gender discriminations. Like, I want to say that female and male should have the same rules for the freedom, and also we should not misuse our freedom. I have seen a lot of family that they did not give or do not give their girl child or female any freedom. I don't support these things at all. I really don't like these things at all. So freedom is, for me, everybody should have freedom, and girl also. There is no discriminations. And obviously freedom is a choice. It depends from everybody, but there is also a limitations. Yeah.
Thank you, Alif. Alif is saying that boys and girls should have freedom equally. So Nirali wants to add some points here.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Although a lot of the women that are parents, and I understand where they're coming from and why they say it, because, there's an insecurity for a girl child, right? When you have a baby girl, you want to protect her from everything you can think of out there. Not that you don't want to do with the boys, but somehow there is this mindset that the boys can handle themselves and that women cannot. So to me, I think give them an opportunity to prove themselves, right? And I'm not saying that let them go and have a war somewhere, but let them try, because I think that's where this whole discrimination factor starts with. It starts at home. And I think if you're training your girl child to be independent financially or giving her education, the same needs to apply for a guy, where he needs to learn how to cook and be independent for himself. Because tomorrow, if mommy's not there, then who's going to feed him? So to me, it goes both ways. And again, responsibility has to come from within. So there's a discipline factor which each individual has, whether they are kids or as they're growing into young adults or adults. So everyone has a certain discipline they follow, and they abuse it too, for sure. I mean, a lot of us take everything for granted. So that was the point I just wanted to add to her. So thank you.
Thank you, Nirali. Madhu?
So I agree with all your wonderful points. Like basically, as parents, it's very important for us to teach our boys that it's not fair to discriminate against women or ladies. So in this way, like we can prevent this misogynistic society in future generation, because like we are living in a progressive nation, but in India, just I'm saying it an example, there is a lot of prejudice saying that, okay, boys are having this higher entitlement in the society and girls should be very submissive and they should just obey to the commands from the male led society. So this kind of wrong conceptions should be mitigated only by teaching our younger boys that this is not fair to treat a woman like a object, and we do have our own choices and own decision making to prevail in this society.
And we also have to I want to add some more, and we also have to make a society where girl feel that we have real freedom.
Yeah, thank you, Alif. Helly?
So I really want to talk on this topic. Freedom has never been a question in my family because I grew up with two sisters, two cousin sisters. So we are all girls in my generation. I do have brothers, but like on my mother's side. So freedom has never been a question. We are allowed to do anything we want to, but I do agree with all of you that freedom does come with consequences, responsibilities, and everything. I think we all have been taught what's right and what's wrong. So we should be able to differentiate between what we want to do and how it's going to turn out. And I do agree that we need to take like the opportunity to go for what's right and kind of take action on what's wrong and anything. Like my father has always taught me that go for what you feel right, even if you are wrong in your path, either you'll learn or either you'll achieve success. So that's the one thing that keeps me going and going. And since this is my first pageant, I didn't think that I'm not going to win or anything. I just tried my best. He just taught me to give my best in anything I do and not worry about the results. So either I'm getting to learn something, either I'm getting to achieve something. So that's what I think freedom is. And I think a girl should be given like good enough freedom, but not like complete freedom, because giving complete freedom can be totally wrong as well. And I think we all are mature enough to differentiate between what's right and what's wrong. So that's what a freedom should be.
So sweet, Helly. Madhu, you already shared your thoughts, right? So Pranika, may I know your opinions, please, on this topic? Pranika?
Yes, this topic definitely really relates to me because I'm the oldest daughter in the family and I'm really the guinea pig when it comes to freedom and decision making. And freedom is really a decision that only yourself or oneself can make, and it's really subjective and it's up to an individual. But I agree with the other with what the others were saying, that a girl's freedom should be equal of that of a man, and freedom does correlate with equality. See, there are 435 people in the Senate and only 24 are women, and that is seen as a normal thing in our society. But actual freedom and actual equality would be when there are 24 men in the Senate and the rest are women, and that would be seen as normal. That would be true equality, and that would be equality as existent. And that's when women can really see that they are free and understand and perceive their talents and capabilities. And also, freedom builds confidence and responsibility and power in women and make them more of an asset to society.
Well said, Pallavi. Pranika, sorry. May I have Pallavi on the screen, please?
Hi everyone. I like all your opinions, but my opinion is freedom should be given with responsibilities. As we are four sisters, and my father never restricted us to do anything. He always encourages us. My mother always encourages us to do whatever we want, but with the responsibilities and with all the telling us all the cause and effects of what we are doing. So I think freedom. We should give freedom to our girls and females. Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi. Krishna?
So for me, when it comes to the freedom of girls and women, I grew up in a household with many boys. Like almost all my cousins are boys except for one. So I understand like the difference between like how women or men are treated, even though my family, they're very progressive, I would say, because my grandmother worked and everybody else in my family, all the women work. And but when it comes to freedom, especially for those of girls, every time I go to school, no matter what, I always see this discrimination and this lack of freedom in women, especially amongst those girls, because I will see, especially when it comes to the dress code, I remember this used to bother me a lot because I've never felt so like really anxious about myself till I got into middle school, and I just wore like a normal baggy t-shirt and leggings, nothing really too like revealing, and I was dress coded in school while this guy was literally walking half naked past me, and I was wondering, I'm not showing anything, and what's the problem if I do? Because there's been several cases where me or my friends, like we have been somewhat, I don't want to say abused, but there is a line to it, I guess, and the school will let it go. And that's why freedom has been so important to me, because it's not just like, hey, here you're right, but it's like if I get hurt, I want to know that I'll be fine. You know, I don't want to go out into the world and be scared that the next step I take will be my last, and then the perpetrator who did that will be let go for it. Because that's what I believe. It's like you can't restrict freedom in us when we're truly not given it yet. Because when I walk around my school, whenever I see all of us girls walk around, we really aren't free. We really don't have that freedom, and we are responsible girls. We never did anything wrong. I have seen as we are quite mature, and yet we still get reprimanded for the small things, and sometimes that does not let us grow. And so we go out, we lash out. I guess lash out is a strong word, a strong phrase, but we express our emotions through social media. And all of the girls in my community, they have some form of freedom. One of my friends, she started this entire period pact, because in schools, the word period would mean something to be ashamed of, and all the guys would laugh, and the teacher would let it off, and the teacher would never let the girls go. And it would be very embarrassing for us because, it's something that we always experience, it's something that we've done, and we should be free in a sense that we shouldn't feel oppressed by society to keep what we women want to do and what we women are meant to do, and everything feminine closed off and degraded just because it's something women do. Because we're all equal, and it's been proven that before we ever had agriculture, that we were all free because women and men had worked together to get food, but it was then that things started going down. So we did have freedom, but something happened that limited us, and now we're trying to fight for it back, because we realize this is not how we were meant to be. And of course we can argue that young girls shouldn't have that freedom, but then you should also do it for young men, because we always grew up, my parents tell me, like, be careful around guys. It's like, no, you don't want your children to live in that world, especially your girls, to be afraid of every man they see, and that when they see them that it'll be their end.
Right.
Thank you.
That's what I feel.
Feelings. Anybody wants to add point like regarding the dress code? She specifically mentioned that some boys are wearing like a half naked and nobody cares. Why girls have all these restrictions? So Michelle, may you please share your thoughts?
Yeah, so to add into her points, I just want to say on a broader scale, it is 2021, but in a lot of countries, I'll speak for India, there are a lot of girls who do not have freedom, period. And that comes from the government, it comes from society, it comes from a lot of families. The level of rape cases in India is extremely high, and it's always at fight against, it's the dress code, it's the where they're wearing their clothes and they're being attacked. So I honestly do think the dress code has a lot to do with the genders as far as the males, because I feel like much of the domination of the way a female should be dressed has always been dominated by men. It always has. And I can tell you this from a fashion industry, Victoria's Secrets, everyone thinks it's a girl. It's actually a guy who designs these luxuries, these design wares and stuff. So right there, it's a pure big example that men tend to have this control of the dress code for women, and this situation where it arises in schools or anywhere, it is that the woman, if they speak up, it's going to be considered bad. Their reputation is going to be ruined. So right there, you lost your freedom to speak. And if you do speak, then you're usually attacked. And that is actually on a bigger platform. We are not at that level of advancement for full freedom. We are actually behind. As much as successful we are locally, amongst our friends, amongst our colleagues, on a bigger, wider platform, we have a long way to go for freedom. Because right there, dress code right now should not be an issue, but unfortunately it is among for a lot of girls.
Yeah, Shubhangi?
Yeah, so just to add to this point, in India, as she talked, the previous contestant just added about, comment about India. So I agree with you. In India, we don't have that, females especially do not have the freedom to wear what they want. That is so true. But just one thing to add, in ancient era, if you have seen our scriptures or, our architecture which carved on the stones of in temples and everywhere, you must have seen women in that era had such a freedom, as equal as to the male, any male. Yes. So after that, so many invaders came to India, and that is the outside culture, which was not an Indian culture, which made us, to have this discrimination. So that's what I feel, and we are fighting for it now for years. I don't know how much time it will take, but yes, we have to fight this war now. Yeah, that's it.
Madhu wants to add some points here. Madhu?
So I agree with Shubhangi. Like basically, Indian society is evolving, and there is a lot of mindset change against the way we dress or the way we present ourselves. For ages, it was deeply conditioned as a male-dominated society. So it won't go away overnight or like within few months. The mindset has to change. Again, people always judge women based on the dressing, and all the crimes like the rape cases, whatever we hear, like first they point women saying that she didn't dress properly, but the same rape is being happening for younger kids, like who is like 1 year old or 2 year old. What dress or what provocation the younger kids are doing to men to do such vicious crimes. So it's all the mindset, and as women we should be always stay strong and speak up. And as Trisha mentioned, even in developed society as well, there is a lot of what do you say, discrimination the way you dress. But we should be strong and we should present ourselves in a dignified manner, and any kind of discrimination is not to be tolerated. We are all educated, and for future generation we should set an example to be progressive. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu.
Just want to say something. Um, in our society, the first learning should comes from our family. I have seen a lot of families, they didn't give their children any freedom, and I'm very privileged that I got freedom. I have had freedom from my parents and my family, but there is also limitations, not beyond the boundaries. But who don't have limitations on restrict, who don't have freedom, I think they are more craving to the freedom, and they might be doing something more beyond the boundaries. And the family who don't give their children freedom, they thought who have freedom they are spoiled child. But I want to tell that who have freedom with limitations, they know how to deal with the difficult challenges in life and how to take responsibilities in life. And also our society, sometimes some people or some neighbor neighbor will come and say to your family a lot of things, and family become tensed, and they they just try to give you some restrictions. But those thoughts and those atmosphere is not correct towards their children. So between the family and the children should have some balanced, and they do not, the children should not misuse their freedom, and the parents also give some freedom, certain limitations.
Majority of you are telling that girls should have all the freedom. Uh, on the biological perspective, so how much sensitive we need to see, like uh, how we need to treat the girls. Nirali, what is your take on it? Like,
Can you please repeat that for me? I'm so sorry.
yeah. So on biological perspective, do we need to treat girls sensitive than boys?
No, I think we need to encourage them to be stronger. Obviously, we have our own emotions that we deal with, right? Men have their own emotions to deal with, but it's always projected that men don't cry. That's not true. I have a husband and I have friends and I have a dad, and I know how sensitive they can be. They may not show it to you because, it's also imposed upon them to show that strength, and any sign of emotions or vulnerability is seen as weakness, and that's the problem. Like, we can't have that for them or for ourselves. And I mean, all of you, including all of you, all the women that I know in my life are so strong, stronger than the men that I know in my life. And I think the amount of God-given strength that women have. And I'm not saying this because I'm a woman. I'm just saying of what I have observed. Women go through what they endure, what they push through, and they're still standing there serving day in, day out. So to me, why not give them that freedom? Biologically, I think they are made for freedom more than men are, if not equally, then more, honestly speaking. Because during wars, if you remember, women were there to back up the men that would go out in the field. They would nurse them, they would feed them, they would support them emotionally, physically. Like, where did that strength come from, right? So why give it to them then and take it away now? It doesn't make any sense. So to me,
yeah, well said, and thank you all for sharing your thoughts. I have two girls, and I always have this question, or you can say concern, that at the teenage or at the kids' age, they don't know how to handle the freedom, right? So, how to explain that? Like, in your opinion, anybody would like to answer, Trisha?
So, as a teenager myself, I feel like it's best if I answer this. So when it comes to the freedom of teenagers, so I don't know, like the situations all you guys go through, like the several teenagers I've seen here, or you beautiful aunties that I've seen here, like what you went through in your past. But where I'm from, it's my parents do give me a lot of freedom, and I mean a lot. I'm kind of worried by the freedom they give me, but I think it's because they sort of guided me through. They did not like limit me, but they guided me through and told me, like, you have this freedom, but this could lead you to something better. Don't do this. And so I think you should give them freedom, and if they make a mistake, don't like chastise them for it.
Correct.
Like, admonish them and like let them know what they did was a mistake, and let them know of the consequences, and prevent it from becoming repetitive, because that's what it creates a healthy relationship with you and your child, and they'll come to you, and you really want them to come to you. And then second of all, it really helps them in their growth, and it really helps them in the future. So I do believe, like, yes, give them the freedom, give them enough freedom. Of course they won't be able to live on their own, but you should guide them through so that in the future they will be able to be strong enough to do it.
Yeah, thank you, Trisha. Yeah, Madhu. Madhu wants to add some points here. Yeah, Madhu.
I do agree with Trisha. Like, it's very important as a mother to teach our younger girls to understand the safety protocol and how to like protect yourself. And there can be some advances from strangers or even from known people, and they try to exploit them. This kind of ugly truth, many parents won't project it in front of their kids because it's something uncomfortable to speak about. But it's very important for us to tell them it's not always like a glamorous world, like everything is like a fairy tale, but there is an ugly side of it too. You should be protective for your kids to teach them what's right and what's wrong. Thank you.
They should be prepared, right?
Yeah. Thank you all so much for sharing your thoughts. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to you all, and I can listen to you like hours and hours. But unfortunately, we are running out of time. Any parting thoughts before we leave? Anybody wants to share, like summarize the topic?
I just want to summarize that be free and fly high and enjoy the life but within the boundaries and limitations, of course. And don't misuse the freedom.
Absolutely.
Kind of wanted to add on to what Trisha said, and kind of make a relation, because if you guys have watched the movie Dangal, there was a very different like thing for Bollywood cinema, especially because they shattered so many stereotypes, and the women were actually wrestlers. And I really think that parents should definitely let their kids pursue their talents and their activities without letting society and their beliefs shadow them. But when it comes to like certain activities, like going out or being in a relationship, there should be limits and boundaries that parents should put to be protected.
Thank you.
And just one sentence is that freedom is really nobody's to give. We are all born free. So we just have to handle it responsibly. That's it. Thank you.
Anybody wants to summarize? Yeah, Nirali?
So I think everyone must have seen this movie Spider-Man, and when the Spider-Man is bitten by the spider and he's just getting used to his powers and he's getting a little bit arrogant, where his uncle comes and says, with great power comes great responsibility. And freedom is that power that each of us have. And this is the reason why we should use it responsibly, which I think everyone is saying the same thing, just in a different angle, right? So thank you. I really enjoyed this discussion with all of you. So I'm very, very happy to know you guys.
Yeah, everyone agreed that girls should have the same freedom as boys, but it comes with limitations and responsibilities. Yeah, thank you all so much, and nice knowing you all, nice meeting you all. And thank you so much for the My Dream TV USA founders, Rashmiji and Janakji, for this opportunity. Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, Anusha. Have a good night, ladies. Take care.
Yeah, take care.